Okay, today I am going to do crispy salmon. This is one of my favorite things to eat. During the week, I go to Blue Runner, I get my seafood, I have them cut it in individual portions, the salmon, and then I freeze them so then I could take a piece out in the morning and then have it for lunch or for dinner. So I have two nice fillets here. Just salt and pepper. I'm keeping it very basic. You can add whatever you want, any kind of spices or anything. I'm just doing it like this. It's how I like it, and I like mine over rice with edamame or another vegetable. So you want your pan hot, probably basically high heat, because you want to sear the skin first. So I'm gonna add some olive oil, and the pan should be hot. And I'm gonna put it skin side down. I salt and peppered every side. And that's what you wanna hear when it goes down. Now, you wanna adjust the heat as you go, because you don't want it too hot so it's splattering everywhere, but it has to still be decently hot. So I have mine on 8. Mine goes up to 10. And with a gas, range is a bit different, so you're gonna have to do that on your own. So what you wanna do is you're gonna cook it the longest on the skin side, because you want the skin to get crispy. And if you need to add a little more olive oil, that's fine. Move it around a little bit so the oil gets underneath it. And right now, this is going perfect. It's the perfect temperature. And I like to watch the bottom as it starts to cook, and as it starts to get cooked, it'll rise up from the bottom. And then that's when you know you can flip it, and we'll be able to see that. This is something, growing up in Dorchester, my mom never really cooked any of this stuff, any of the seafood that I'm cooking. Maybe once in a while we would have like halibut or cod, probably something that was a cheap fish. So I kind of grew into loving seafood, and I've told you guys before, I don't eat beef or pork, so I'm really into seafood. I like to have a nice variety frozen for the week. Like right now I have the salmon, I have some swordfish, some shrimp, some scallops. I had some cod in there, some halibut. But my guys at Blue Runner sell everything. So I'm very lucky. They're right down the street in a van. In a van, basically, is where I get my seafood. So you can start to see it's getting cooked on the sides that aren't as thick. And it's starting to, the bottom's starting to get crispy. What I like to do is I'll flip it over, let that cook for a couple minutes, because this is about 5 to 7 minutes on the skin side, then a couple minutes on the other side. But then I'll sear all 4 sides really quickly. I like it a little pink in the middle, but not too, I don't want it mushy in the middle, but just a little pink. The worst thing is just like chicken. You have a great piece of salmon and it's dry. It's terrible. It's one of the worst things to eat. It doesn't matter how great it's seasoned or anything. I hate it. So I make sure that I cook this side longer, 5 to 7 minutes, the skin side, flip it over, a couple minutes, then I sear the other two sides on each piece. So I like to cook a little bit on all 4 sides. And that's the point of having, like I have the guys at Blue Runner cut it like this, because it's easier to sear the sides instead of like, I bring it home and then I gotta cut it. They'll just do it for you right there. And any, what's it called, a seafood monger? Is that the guys that, behind the counter, like get the butcher? Yeah, monger. Yeah. Your seafood guy at your local place, wherever you go, will do it for you, for sure. The seafood guy. So this is ready to be flipped, it looks like to me. There you go. Look at that. That's gonna be perfectly crispy. That's exactly what you want. I've done this a few times now, so I'm pretty good at it. but that's kind of what you want the skin to look like. And then this is just a couple minutes, and then I'm gonna sear the other sides just a little bit and then take it off the heat. It's done, ready to be served. I'm gonna have mine probably with some brown rice and some edamame for lunch. Today, right now. I'm hungry. Got my workout in, had my protein oatmeal in the morning, but you know, I really need to eat this protein after my workout. So now I'm just gonna take that, sear that side. This one's not gonna stand, so I kinda have to hold it. And then I'm gonna sear the other side. Then I'll just put it back on that side. And that's it. It's ready to eat. Take it off the heat. And I'll be right back. I'm gonna eat it, taste it, so you can see how I like mine served. All right, so now it's lunchtime with my crispy salmon. I like to use a knife so I can cut right through the crispy skin.
Yes! Woo! Yes!
It's so good. It's just salt and pepper. That's it. But it's a fresh piece of fish. You don't need to do that much to it. It's amazing. This is gonna be a great lunch for me. Try it at home. Have it, make it for your family. It might get your kids into liking more seafood because salmon is really, really good. Enjoy it. It's fantastic. It's so good. Woo. Okay, so today I'm gonna bake some salmon. Very simple. Get a good piece of salmon. You don't want to overdo it with anything because salmon tastes great as it is. You just want to kind of season it a little bit. Put it in the oven. I have the oven set to 400 degrees and then it'll take 15 to 20 minutes. The worst thing you can do is overcook salmon. Terrible, overcooked, it's dry. And no one wants to eat dry salmon. So that's the one thing you gotta be able to watch it. Probably don't. What?
Although this light needs to be off. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what's going on, man, but they got the crew in the background pointing and looked like they were panicking. I don't know. Anyway. I'm gonna make a simple rub. I'm not gonna rub it on the salmon, but that's what you would call it. So I take kind of my favorite things, which would be some garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, Old Bay seasoning, and salt and pepper. Salt and pepper, you wanna leave that to do last over it, and then you wanna mix some of this up. Just do enough that's gonna cover the fish lightly. So a little Old Bay, little paprika, little onion powder, and a little garlic powder. And this will just be light, I mix it up and then it's just gonna be lightly sprinkled over the salmon. Okay, then a little salt and pepper. And I did use aluminum foil over the pan. It's just easier when you clean it up to kind of just crumple this all up and throw it away, as opposed to putting it on the pan and then, it's gonna get pretty messy, so it's easier to clean up after. A little pepper. And into the oven. I'm just gonna set the timer. 20 minutes. But I'm going to check it well before that because it's probably gonna be done in about 15. At 400 degrees, bake 15, 20 minutes. And you have a delicious piece of salmon. Salmon's ready. Taking it out the oven. Take a look. Beautiful, perfectly cooked, and delicious. Fantastic!